we had an outstanding day yesterday. Now there was slop we got to clean up fundamentally, but I tell you what, as far as coming out and knowing what we're trying to get done, and putting in the work, competing, giving everything they've got, trying to win the rep, understanding what we're trying to get done. I mean, it was pretty aggressive practice, and I do think hitting. I think tackling has to be a part of it. It's the essence of defense. Breaking a tackle, run after catch, those things. So I think you have to do a little bit of that, and we did some of that. Now, I knew leading into this week, this would be a tough week for him. I told him early in the week, and I put it up, and I said, listen, we come off the day off. It's very much like an acclimation day, which was Monday. And then I said, we're going to redline you for 2 days, full pads, which we did. And then I said, I'm going to back way off on Thursday, which is today. So I said, but you got to put in the work. And they did. But this is what I wanted. So we're going to have kind of an extended walkthrough today. I'm much more about quality over quantity. I didn't want to come out and just continue to try to, you can only redline them for so long before something blows out, and you're not going to get the work you want. They'll come out here, and at some point, your body just regulates itself, and you can't get the output that we're getting. We are getting excellent work. These guys are revving hot, revving high, and so now we got to back down, and we're going to do that today. So it'll be more of a walkthrough. We'll give them some striders, and then we're in the door. Evan Brown is coming off NFI officially today, or will be, so now he's able to go practice or be part of it with us out there, and certainly he'll be out there tomorrow too when we get back after it.
We saw yesterday Julian Aquara and I think Jerry Jacobs walk off practice. Maybe Swift was part of that too, and just curious what their status is. And then Michael Brockers hasn't practiced the first couple of days. Can you just update us maybe on a few of those situations? Yeah, they're good. I think Julian, we'll find out more today, but I think he got a little bit of bruise, kind of contusion of the ribs. He's fine. He should be fine. So I would expect him to be back out there. He'll be out there today, but tomorrow. And then, Brock, look, we're just trying to be smart with Brock, man. Brock's 10-year vet, man. He's slugged it out for a long time now, and we kind of know what he can do, so we're just trying to be smart. He'll get his reps, they'll come, but we kind of know what he is. So we're there again. We just want to be smart with him. And then Swift, Swifty, he's good. He's another one now. Swifty, he's bound pretty tight, and he runs hot, and so, we're trying to get him a load and then back him down. And so we're kind of working him in. We just want to make sure we're being smart with him, but get him his work. He's had a little bit of a, kind of a tight groin. And so he's out there practicing, he's pushing, we're getting good reps, and then we're being smart with him. And every day we give him just a little bit more. So he'll be out there at the walkthrough, but he's getting better. He feels better. So I think we'll be good.
Yeah, question about Tim Boyle. What was it about Boyle that attracted you to him?
Yeah, what attracted us to Tim? I would tell you this. The first thing is, being in this division, I really didn't know anything about him, me personally. But the one who got us onto him, I said this when we signed him, was Lance. Newmark got us onto him. Kind of our player personnel scout who's been here a long time. And so he had his eye on him. And, I know this, I remember when he was talking about him in the spring, and we'd been together for a little bit, for about a month, and you go in those meetings, and like I say, I remember Lance when I was here from afar, but it very quickly you learn to, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. So when he brought that up, when Lance brought it up, it's like, hey, I would check this Tim Boyle out, man. I know there's not a lot of tape, but, and so when you just kind of watch him, even though it was preseason games, things of that nature, it was like, oh, man, there is something to this kid. And it was intriguing. And it was like, this is a perfect year if you're going to do something and you want to take a flyer on a guy, this is the year to do it. And so That's what attracted us to him. I know this, man. Now that we've got him, we really, really like him. Like everything about him, his attitude, his decisiveness, the way he runs a huddle, and he throws the football well. Yes, sir.
Karen, yesterday, news was announced that Eastern Market is not going to have tailgating for Lions fans this season. That's one of the Lions' biggest tailgating sites. Just want to get your thoughts on everything the organization has done to excite the fan base around this upcoming season in the future, that one of the biggest tailgate sites will not be available to fans this year.
Yeah, I mean, do you really want my reaction? I mean, I know you want my reaction. I mean, I'm just going to get myself in trouble. That's why yeah, it stinks. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, there's a number of things in my head that I think of when you just said that, like what I would do, but as a tailgater, but I'm not going to say that. So it's tough. It's tough, I hate it for them. I hate it for us. I hate it, so I tell you what, I'm going to find a way to adapt and figure something else out quickly. I know that. To where I can still tailgate.
Just one more.
And have a good time.
Sorry, man. Just one
Yes, sir.
more.
Sorry, Chris.
Tyrell Crosby wasn't out there yesterday.
Yeah.
Was that
He got a hammy.
Okay.
He got a hammy, and his is probably, it looks like about a grade 1 right now. So he's going to be down a little bit. We think this could be, a good week. I mean, he could be. We'll see where he's at today, tomorrow. But yeah, he did. He pulled his hammy.
And what does that do for your, the offensive line, the first team offensive line? At least, I think everyone knows what to expect out of them. The second team, maybe work in progress a little bit more. What does that do for the work they did? And how much you're missing?
You just mean with Crosby being out? Well, I think it can be a positive because now we've got, Nelson's going to get a lot of those reps, which is good because we're working him kind of guard and tackle. Hank's got him moving kind of across the board, but that's actually, let's find out who's up next. Okay. It's Nelson, it's Stenberg, it's, you get more reps on guys that you want to see up there. Maybe it's Kramer, our young rookie from Notre Dame who's getting some of those reps. Hell, we just brought in, we got Evan Heim back. We got all the Evans back. So we'll just pull a name out of a hat and say, hey, Evan, get in there and see which one runs in there to get some reps. Maybe, and see what happens.
You got a critical eye for player performance in pads, right? We talked about the last few days about guys that maybe are faking their way through it last round or whatnot. Was there any guys you reviewed the film from these last 2 days that have caught your eye that stood out maybe more than you anticipated?
It's a good question, Justin, because it's more than we expected. Man, I don't know if more than we expected. I think the staff and myself came in with an open mind and gave these guys the benefit of the doubt, and let's kind of look at it with a clean slate. I can tell you this, certainly we wanted to see Julian Aquara. Let's see what he looks like in pads and see how he responds, And the early part of practice, I thought he was physical, and it showed up, Now, we got to get him through practice. But that was encouraging to see. Now, let's see how he does with these ribs and everything. But, just to see him do it, and then let's see him do it Friday if he's back. And let's see him do it Saturday at Ford Field. And then let's see him come back the next week after the day off and do it again in pads. And those little things are what I'm looking for with some of these guys. But that was encouraging. I would say there's a number of guys that I feel like I knew Charles Harris was, that's not an issue in pads and this and that, but I can tell you what, he's made a big jump just from spring. Now, we didn't do team reps in spring, but he's really kind of embracing this. He's much more of a natural outside linebacker than he is even DN, So you see him really progressing. I think he's taken a pretty big jump just from when he walked in the door here. You see his ability to set an edge and snap his hips, and he fires me up pretty good. So there's a number of guys. That answers your question.
Coach,
Coach, Coach, what about your secondary? What are you seeing right now with pads on? I mean, sometimes guys' arms seem to shrink up a little bit in the coverage. Have you seen guys, perform the way they did without pads in pads?
Yeah, I would say so. Man, I'm pretty fired up about our secondary. I know it's early, but I just like where they're at. I like where they're going. There's a lot of growth that still needs to take place, but I think AG and Aubrey and Duker, who's working with our safeties, all three of those guys, I think are doing a hell of a job, and I think those guys are buying in. And you can see them beginning to grow together and communicate, and they understand their own weaknesses. They understand where they've got to help. They understand. And so even with pads on, to watch them, like Akuda, I think he's really starting to come on. He's playing like, all right, man, I am a bad dude, and I dare you to throw it over here, which is what we want. And I see Amani growing over there on the other side. And then, man, just Will and Tracy, their communication and beginning to, it's pretty good. CJ Moore's doing a heck of a job. We know he's going to be able to help us on special teams, but he's also pretty good on the back end, and he can go in the box and play like dime linebacker for us on third down. So there's a number of guys, that I feel like are growing. But just if you're talking about kind of that unit in general, yeah, it is growing. Listen, AJ Parker, man, nickel, Mike Ford, battling it out. They're coming, Jerry Jacobs, who went off with a contusion. That's one of them you asked about. It was really a contusion. It sounded like it was, oh man, but he got stepped on. He got stepped on the thigh. I was like, okay, well, he's good. He's good. So it'll be a little sore, but it's not like he pulled a muscle or something. So, but that kid's showing up too.
I don't think we need him tomorrow, but Kelvin Dotson's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
You got 2 years with him. I know you weren't on the field as much as you liked those 2 years, but you did share some practice with him. What were your memories of Kelvin, and was it evident he was going to be this great all-time receiver from the first time you practiced with him?
You never know. You never truly know where somebody's going to be 10 years from that point. We all know that. But I know this. I'd never seen anybody like him, never been around anybody like him that had the size, length, speed, ability to adjust to the football, flexibility, and was hungry and just went to work like he had it all. He checked every box. It was like unbelievable. This is the type of guy that you were like, man, if he called for the ball every play, you'd be like, I get it. I know why he's calling for the ball every play. I would be calling for the ball every play. And he just going over there, I'm going to block over here. You tell me I need to block this, I'm going to go block this safety. Oh, I got to go beat this safety on a sting route, I'm going to go beat him. You're going to throw me this? Great. Oh, you're saying this is for Roy Williams or this is for, Mike Fury or great, I know that my little piece of this puzzle will hold the safety here so that they don't get on Mike's route over there. And he just was a team guy. And I think it was great, man. And if there's ever a dude who deserves to go in the Hall of Fame, it's him, those type of players. Because those players, to me, the production it speaks for itself, man. And all those guys, to be able to do what you're doing, to be good enough to go to the Hall of Fame, man, it's well deserved. But man, there's a special place in my heart for guys that are team guys that just put in the work day in, day out, and they have ultra ability, which is what Calvin had. So I'm proud of that guy. I'm happy for him. And, I know Detroit's proud of him too. They should be, man, to be able to know that, hey, man, that guy was a Detroit Lion, and that'll be there forever. You can't take that away because that's what he was, and that's what he is, and that's the jersey that goes up in the Hall of Fame.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.